Hello there. It's Fridays with Father. Yeah, and it's July 1st. Got an extra slug of coffee today because I'm absolutely exhausted. Yeah, I'm really tired. You get some days you think, I'm just so tired. That's how I feel today, kind of like exhausted. And I know why. I know why I'm exhausted because of Family Fest. Last week was so much fun with Family Fest, and I think you'll all agree with me. It was fun, and we had lots of exciting experiences. But of course, having fun tires you. It's tiring, and especially to many of you who worked so hard to make that happen, you must be tired too. So I'm guessing you're also like in recovery, as I feel I'm in recovery from the excitement of Family Fest. I just want to take a moment, really, first of all, to thank everybody who supported the Family Fest this year, and thanks to the organisers most sincerely, those in the committee and all those who worked so hard. It was fun. What more can I say? It was fun, and it's good having fun. And so, and as you can see, my face is a delicate shade of red. So I'm sporting like sort of Red Lobster chic at the moment, and the reason for that was, on Sunday afternoon, I was sat out in the middle of the sun, talking to a former parishioner of mine who came to visit me she came to visit the Family Fest because she'd seen it advertised online and she knew that I was here, and she was my sacristan from a former parish. And she came to visit me, Susan, and it was good to see her. So we sat for a while in the sun before we realised it would make more sense if we went and sat and played bingo instead, which we did do. So it was good fun. And talking about bingo, I won. I won some money on bingo, and I never win anything. So the fact that I won on bingo, is a sign, I think, that anyone can win. Also shows that you haven't got to be particularly skillful at bingo, because I'm not. It was all kind of luck. So luck was on my side, as I think God was on our side throughout the whole of the fest, because we had good weather and good attendance and just a nice atmosphere. So I've written a bit more about my experiences of Family Fest in the bulletin this week. But I just want to make it, quite clear that just how grateful I am to all of you for being a part of that. And it was my first experience, and it was great. It was great. What's not to like about food, music, drink, and just being together? It's just a nice thing, right? So it was very, very enjoyable. So thank you to that. So that was Family Fest. That I attribute, my tiredness to, amongst other things. I've been away these last few days. I got straight off Family Fest, and then I had to go to Lake Geneva in Wisconsin for the Convocation of priests with the cardinal. Every 3 years, or in this case it was 4 years because of COVID, we all get together for what is like a cross between a conference and a retreat and a sort of social get-together, really. So all of the priests of the Archdiocese, along with the bishops and the cardinal, gather. So I was there from Monday until Thursday, listening to speakers and catching up on some sleep, and also catching up with some friends. So I saw all of the former pastors here, who were pastors from here. They were there too, and caught up with them and caught up with some of my friends. It was a nice thing to do. But it was another thing that I had to do, and so now I'm back here now, and I'll eventually catch up with some sleep. So that was Convocation. That's what I did this past week. The other thing I think to mention about this past week was the feast day, and that was Wednesday's feast day on the 29th of June, and it was the feast of St. Peter and St. Paul. An important feast because it's feast really in honor of like two of the big saints, St. Peter, the keeper of the keys, really the keeper of the church, and St. Paul, the big evangelist and big teacher. So that was a big solemnity this past week. And what I want to say about them is that I remember when we were kids, going to Catholic school, that on the feast of St. Peter's and St. Paul, we'd all go to Mass and then we'd have the day off. We wouldn't have to go to school that day. And instead, the parish ladies, the Union of Catholic Mothers, used to organise a trip for us to the beach, and we would go to the beach on the feast of St. Peter and St. Paul, and we'd celebrate St. Peter and St. Paul, sat on a beach in South Wales. Now, if you can imagine, the weather is rarely beach weather in South Wales, so we might have been sat there, sort of bundled up in coats and, sort of raincoats and with umbrellas and things like that. But that's what we did, and I have very fond memories, and it's connected to the faith that we have and the experience we have of St. Peter and St. Paul, my church experience. The other kind of more slightly profound bit of information about St. Peter and St. Paul, and worth pondering, I think, really, is that, St. Peter, he denied Jesus 3 times. So he wasn't the best of, the most faithful of people, really, And St. Paul, he was a persecutor of Christians. He persecuted people who believed in Jesus. So, and yet, Jesus saw fit in some ways to, establish the church on those 2 people. They weren't superhumans, they weren't super holy, they were just ordinary people, big sinners, really. But Christ can work with weakness. Christ can work with ambiguity. Christ can work with doubtfulness. Christ can deal with us doing things in the wrong way, So I think that's important for us to remember, because it gives us hope, right? It gives us hope. If Jesus, if God can entrust the church to St. Peter and St. Paul, who's to say, God wouldn't entrust, wonderful things to each one of us. God trusts us. He entrusts our lives to us. He entrusts our families to us, our relationships to us. And in spite of our weaknesses, in spite of our doubts and our failings, God believes, that we can make good. We can make good on the things that are given to us in our life. And we should take that seriously and believe it. And that's what we've celebrated really on the Feast of St. Paul. It's the grace of God at work in the church, in the work, in the weakest and, the biggest sinners of all. Jesus is at work. And so sometimes we're scandalized when we hear about, hear bad things about people, or bad things about the church even, as if we were expecting almost like the church to be perfect, and it's not, and it can't. God is perfect, Jesus is perfect, but the church in itself is not perfect. Before the Vatican Council, they used to think of the church as the perfect society, and that was kind of a misrepresentation. I think we desire or we long to be a perfect society. That's what it is. We aspire to it. We aspire to sanctity and holiness. But we're not perfect, and that shows in the lives of St. Peter and St. Paul. There we are, who we honoured this week. And at least I think in my own country, it used to be a holy day of obligation when you had to go to Mass. I think that's stopped now in Europe. I don't know, but anyway, it certainly wasn't a holy day of obligation here in Chicago. But an important feast for us to remember. 2 saints, 2 martyrs. Entrusted with Christ, as we are all entrusted with Christ to bring Jesus to the world. So that was that. So that was this past week. And the other thing I was going to say to you was, look at my cheat sheet. Just a couple of things which are coming up. We have a Polynesian evening. Go figure. A Polynesian evening coming up, and I think it's July 23rd. It's on a Saturday evening. It's after the 6 o'clock Mass. And there's going to be, it's kind of like, Hawaiian aloha kind of, performances. There will be, some Polynesian food. There'll be Mai Tais on sale. It'll be a fun evening, and you're invited to join us for that. It's just something different, an opportunity to gather, and we are selling tickets. I think it's $25 per person. Hope you can join us. I believe the tickets are selling well already. So, as you see, Church of the Holy Spirit, we've only just gotten over Family Fest, but already we're into the next activity. You see, we don't give up, we don't stop, we keep moving on. And it's our Jubilee year, so we want to do something special whenever we can. And so Aloha, as the evening is called, is our Polynesian evening, and I hope you can join us. So take a look at that. The other thing I was going to mention too, for your information, but also for if you're young, if you're between the ages of 13 and 18, we are running a summer day retreat for all of our young people, with our present youth group members and future youth group members and anybody of that age who wishes to come. We're taking a bus trip to the retreat center of Schoenstatt and the shrine of Schoenstatt in Waukesha, Wisconsin. It's a very beautiful place, and there's some very, very lovely nuns there who will be explaining to us about the story of Schoenstatt and introducing us to the shrine and inviting our young people to consecrate themselves to the Blessed Virgin Mary. It'll be nice. It'll be a time for fun, for playing and for praying, but most of all, a time to come away together, to come together as young people and, to be together for the sake of Jesus. So that's operating on August the 13th. So if you know young people who'd like to come, tell them to sign up as soon as possible. I think we're asking a donation of $20 to come on that day. Okay, so there you are. I think that's most of my commercials out of the way for today. But one other thing I just wanted to mention before I sign off today is that 2 years ago today, July 1st, I arrived here in the Church of the Holy Spirit. Yeah, 2 years. It's gone fast, and I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for the welcome, and thank you for all the fun bits we've had, and even thank you for the difficult bits. I'm very, very happy to be here, and I hope I get to spend many more years here with you at Church of the Holy Spirit. Great parish, great people. We've got lots to do, and I'm happy to be here doing it with you. So thank you, my second anniversary. And then finally, to let you know, as I'm so exhausted, taking vacation is long overdue. So I'm taking time off as of July 4th. I'll be going to spend time with my family for a couple of weeks. So I won't be here, but I'll take you all with me in my heart and in my prayer. And what that means is that I won't be doing Fridays with Father. And in fact, I'm going to take a break for the month of July. So we'll start up again with these little emissions, these little programs, sometime in August. I think we all need to take a break from things every now and again, just to sort of take a pause, time out, and then come back and start again. However, please do not take time out from prayer. Pray, pray, pray. Make your life a prayer. And if you've got time, join us this evening for our monthly Holy Hour, 6:30. If you can't come, you can send your petitions via the parish website. But anyway, keep praying. Pray for me as I pray for you. I need to take a break. I'm sure you need to take a break. I'll be seeing you at the end of July in person, and Fridays with Father will resume sometime in August. Okay, so be joyful. Keep the faith. Bye.